Hi there.
Hello everyone, welcome to another Flying Frog video. Here we have the Beechcraft V35B, a Carenado Microsoft collaboration. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at this one and see if it's worth the $22.45 Australian, which is approximately $15 American and about 14-15 euro. And if it's like any other of our Beechcraft collaborations by Microsoft and Carenado, it will be up to standard. So what we're going to do is we're going to get in, have a look, and yeah, go from there. So what we'll do is we'll stick our head inside the cockpit and have a look first. And we'll be kicking this fella out of his seat a little bit later on. So I hope he doesn't get too comfortable. As you can see, that looks quite nice, and we'll have a closer look at that when we hop on in. The cargo area door. Now I must admit, getting the cargo door open was a bit of a chore, and it's definitely going to be not easy closing it as well. But that looks good. Looks well modelled, well textured. And the straps look real, which is fantastic again. And talking about looking real, look at these rivets. The 3D imaging on that is fantastic. The rivets look like this, they're counter or sunk inside in that metal, so which looks really good as well. And the lines look fantastic. I keep saying look a lot, but now let's look at this one. So we don't get any jaggies off the Beechcraft, which looks fantastic. I like the colour red. I like the reflections we're getting off the fuselage and off the bare metal bits. Right, I think on the whole, I'm liking the look of it so far. Now we do have two other V-tails in the sim, one turboprop and one jet, so this one's fits in here quite nicely. So what we're going to do is we'll get in here, have a look at the landing gear and see how they've done with the modelling and under here and the detailing. Again, not too bad, you know, for a $22 product. They've added in enough to make it interesting. I've definitely seen less from a more expensive product. The resolution's very good. As you can see, I can read the label on this shock absorber, or the landing strut here, which is fantastic. The dirt on the tyres look great. You can see we got wheel weights there as well. The tyres aren't shiny, so they look real. So good, fantastic job. So what we're going to do, we're going to jump on into the cockpit and we'll have a look at the cockpit. Oh, let's have a look, get up here first, a little bit closer look. See if we can poke our heads in and see the motor. Now from what I remember, this is a 6-cylinder Continental motor of just over 200 and something horsepower. It slips my mind at the moment. We'll call that old age. So all in all, fantastic. Now we do get 11 liveries with this one, which I will be showing you a little bit later with the photos of it. And that also includes, you know, your Aviators Club and Xbox livery as well. Right, so we're going to kick this fella out and we'll hop on inside to the cockpit. Okay. We've kicked our seat warmer out and let's have a look around. Now the dials look really nice, clear, crisp, easy to read. The layout's nice, the wood paneling looks good. Now we can make the yoke disappear. Oh God, I'm not doing too good today. My brain fade. So we just click here, that makes that one disappear from the middle. Now there is no tablet with this one, as per the other Beechcrafts that we've got from the Microsoft and Carenado collaborations. We don't get the usual Carenado tablet, but that's okay. We can live with that for the price. Now this window does open up, so we can drop that one down. Now the fuel is modelled on, which I'll come back to that in a second. Now we do have aileron trim, which is here, and then we've got our usual pitch trim there. So don't get the two mixed up, because you know, you could find yourself in a little bit of trouble. So what we'll do is we'll close this door. So yes, the door does open and close. So that one there, and now we'll go back here and try and do the cargo door. So while we're back here, now these ones here don't operate, so we can't open up or close these ones here. So they're just for show. But this is as far as I can go back. Now I've got to try and see the door. Oh, no, here we go. I managed to make it through. Here we go. So let's close the door here. Right. And that's our cargo area. So we managed to get between the seats. Just. Rightio. Okay. So let's reposition myself and get this baby started. Right, now then, let's make the yoke disappear. Make things a little bit easier on ourselves. Now, like I said, the fuel was modelled on. Again, I've said it in the past, I'd like the fuel modelled off. That's all. Just so we can, you know, do a proper cold dark start. So, it's battery on. Alternator, fairly simple one to start. And magnetos here. Now window is open, so clear prop. Nice sound, deepish motor, deepish sound coming from the exhaust there, which is good. Now we do have our Avionics switch here. Now we've come across this autopilot before, however up here is our GPS and nav. Now I haven't set in a course today, so I won't be using it, so that's okay. We got our usual switches. There are usual inoperative switches. You know, you got your basics down here, but all your main switches are all down in this area here anyway. Alright, and I will be doing a night view before I head on out to do a taxi. Now we do have a variable pitch prop, as we can tell here, which is fine. Okay, now and the only other is we got sunshades, and that's it. Pretty much, it's basic-ish aircraft. So yeah. So what I'll do is I'll turn the lights on, come back, and I'll show you the night view, and then I'll taxi on out. While I'm taxiing out, I will show you the photos of the different liveries, and I will then see you up at the end of the runway. Okay, here's our night view. Not too bad. So what we can do is we can we got the up and down here, so we can drop them off. we want to, and here as well, so we can drop them right down, make it all dark, which is definitely flyable at night. And we have our cabin lighting, so we got that one there which we can turn off. There we go. So that one there. Now we also too, we got yaw dampening over this side, and we've also got some pitch trim here as well as actually on the yoke. And we've got lights back there. I won't worry about going back there, but as you can see, there's some lights back there which we can turn on or off. Somewhere there's a switch there. I think I just had it, but anyway, it's dark. Right, so what I'll do is I'll go back to daytime and I'll head on out and start the taxi. Okay, so let's get going. So what we're going to do is we'll close up this window, and there's a bit of sound difference, which is great. Off with the handbrake, and let's get going. She does feel like she's got a little bit of weight to her when she gets going, gets moving, which is really good. And like I said, I'll start showing you now the different liveries, and I will see you up at the end of the runway, ready for our takeoff. Okay, here we are at the end of the runway. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this one a little bit earlier, but the frame rates on this aircraft seem to be very good. I'm not getting any stuttering here at Shell Harbour. However, I have done another reinstall of Microsoft Flight Simulator due to the fact that we were getting instabilities, crashes to desktop, which I'm getting rather tired of. But anyway, that's another story. So let's just check and set the trim for our takeoff. Now I don't want 3%, so let's drop that one back a bit. I want you to go down, not up. Okay. Interesting that there we go. Click on it and move your mouse if you've got a mouse. Okay, that 0.7 should be fine. First stage flaps. We can hear the flaps come down. Now, I did neglect to, there is a, in the startup procedure, there is a fuel pump switch, which there it is there. It didn't work. It was off. It didn't make any difference to the startup. Now that's happened previously in other Carenado aircraft. It doesn't seem to be modelled in, it's just there. Whether or not that's a limitation on Xbox's behalf or not, I don't know, but it just seems to have propped up a number of times. Again, I'd probably like that one modelled in as the system is working. I can't see any reason why it can't work. But anyway, what we'll do is we'll get going, and I'll do some maneuverability, stall test, and a landing. Right. So let's keep going. Bit of pull to the left, not too severe. Fairly easy controllable down the runway here. As we're building up our speed. Let's start pulling back. There we go. Landing gear up. Clunks and bumps as it comes up. So there's in the cockpit we have that sound deadening. Okay, flaps up. We can hear those coming up. Let's just trim this bird a bit better. There you go. She's fairly well trimmed now. Very easy to trim. So, flight characteristics. Very gentle, expected to Carenado's standard. So let's have a look on the outside. There we go, nice view. That's quite good. There's a little bit of stutters there. Looking around. Not too bad at all. Right, so what I'll do is I will get some height. I'll go do some shots on the outside, and I'll do the usual handling stuff. Actually, I can do the handling now. Let's pop on outside, have a look. Oh, there we go. Right, let's just drop the nose down a little bit. Right. Pretty good for GA aircraft, really. This one's probably good for around about 170 knots, at a guess, without going too far into it, to be honest with you. I like the look. Again, it's just something a little different. Is it worth purchasing over the standard default Bonanza? Yeah, well, that's a more modern rendition, where this one was built in the 1960s. As a matter of fact, there was only 2 years of production for this particular one, and it has a V-tail, which is something different for everyone. So what I'll do is I'll do the stall test now. So there we go. It's just let me know the. So what I'll do is I'll hop back into the cabin. All right, we'll just do it like we're going to do a landing. So it's just let me know my throttle is way back low. So I may not be high enough here, but we shall find out. See what it's like. So just pulling back the throttle, pretending to do a landing. Just pulling back. Yes, we know. Speed's washing off. Hit the stall horn. And I'm full back. Full back, no throttle. And it's just, yeah, it's doing nothing, which is interesting. Let's just rock it from side to side. There we go. Alright. And recovered. Right. Now I had to induce her to do that tip in. So yeah, otherwise she was just mushing. I don't know if that's actual flight characteristic. But you guys can take that away from that what you will. Yeah, I don't know. I'd say it's going to be fairly easy to land for certain. Anyway, what we'll do is we'll head on back to have our landing, and then I'll give you my final thoughts. While I'm heading back, obviously you will get the outside view of the outside shots. Okay, here's our airport at 12 o'clock. I'm a reasonable distance out, so let's see if we can get this baby down all nice and smooth. Flight characteristics of this one is Carenado standard, so there's not a problem with that. Let's just adjust our views a little bit. Out of the way. Now let's start dropping our height a little bit, dropping our speed. Speed's not too bad. Now if you so first stage flaps, as you can see, nose starts coming up. Makes a bit of noise. Now if you do start to overspeed this one, you do get the rushing air past the airframe, so that sound is all modelled in. Very nice. And to be honest with you, no, I'll wait. I'll leave my final thoughts to the end. But this is just nice and gentle. The only thing I think is this, from our seating position, the pillar there is just a little bit in the way. So if we're centraled in our seat, so never mind. Now we're lining up quite nicely. Now our gear is definitely down. Yep, it's down there, which is good. Right. Bit more pace. A little low. control our altitude with the throttle. Come back online. Looks like I'm drifting a little bit. Oh, bounce. Not the best landing, but not the worst. Its ground characteristics are fantastic. It's not wandering all over the place like some aircraft do when you land, which I think is not the aircraft's fault. It's just the way Asobo have done it. But this one, we land, it's stable. It's almost stays fairly straight down the runway itself. So as we taxi on over, follow it around, we're heading back to parking bay 6, which is just around the corner here. I like the sounds. The sound package is very good. From the motor to the insides of the clanks and thumps and bangs and things like that go on when you're landing and stuff like that. The sound of the flaps. So the sound package is very good, as per usual from Carenado. I really am a fan of Carenado's aircraft. Whilst, okay, they may not be 100% correct, but for the sim I feel as though the quality is very good for what we get. They are definitely one of the premium developers in my mind, particularly for us on Xbox and obviously for PC as well. So yeah, as you can feel, this one does have a bit of weight to it when you throttle up. You know, was it that easy to get this into the right parking spot? Which is nice, I like that. I really do. So, okay. So there we have it. We're landed. Rightio, I will now give you my final thoughts. Final thoughts. The Microsoft Carenado Beechcraft V35B. $22.45 Australian from the Microsoft Marketplace. Is it worth the $22.45? Yes, I believe there is enough done with this one to warrant the $22.45. $22.45 is actually a cheap price for this quality of aircraft. It goes along with the Beechcraft D18 and the Staggerwing, which we've got from this collaboration in the past. The quality is excellent. The sound packages, they're excellent. The texturing is excellent. There's enough systems in there to make it worthwhile. The only thing I would think is it worthwhile getting? Because we already have a default Bonanza in the sim. If you want a V-tail, I would say definitely go ahead. It's a little bit older than the Bonanza that's in the sim currently. But for those who want the aircraft, it's definitely worthwhile. Do I regret purchasing this one? No, not at all. Not for me. This one's got enough. The V-tail is enough to make me interested in having it anyway, because I like to have the different aircraft itself. Would I fly this one again? Yes, I will. Not often these days, due to the fact of the amount of aircraft I'm purchasing with doing these reviews. It boils down to, you know, having the time to fly them, and that's a me problem, nobody else. But yes, I would fly this on a regular basis. It's an enjoyable enough aircraft to fly, easy enough to land, got good handling characteristics, along the lines of the Ovation and the other Carenado aircraft that are in this sim. So, yep, I think that you know, enough said on this one. It's worthwhile. I recommend it. You know, would I recommend it over the default Bonanza? Yeah, well, that's entirely up to you. If you're a collector of aircraft, definitely go ahead and get it. So on that note, please like, comment, subscribe. Join me on my Discord channel. We can talk about this aircraft, other aircraft. I'm trying to organise a time to get some glider flying going, regular, say once a month meetups for that. Once that's happening, it'll be posted on my Discord. The link to the Discord will be in the description below. And on that note, everyone, please stay safe.